Deputy President David Mabuza is meeting for the first time since the May elections. Mabuza opened the meeting this morning in Secunda in Mpumalanga. SANAC will be doing HIV, TB and STI awareness in the area. The health minister is on the podium. Let's go there live.
South Africa to be malaria free very soon. An unprecedented number of implementing countries from Africa, 23, made pledges on the Global Fund. South Africa pledged $10 million, which is 146 million, which is $4 million more, $4 million more than what we pledged in the previous conference. This is about 58 million rands that we've added. I can just say also, Deputy President, that there was a lot of lobbying even to us, although we're putting small amounts, and the issue was, if we put additional amounts, some of the big countries have actually pegged their contribution based on what you are going to get. So if others don't contribute as much, then they also won't add more. But so if we keep pushing it like this, we're actually leveraging to get more money from some of the big countries that have better economies. That's why we had to move it up, just to create a situation where the big countries can actually contribute more, and it worked. Though this pledge is small relative to the funds of that the Global Fund invests in our country, it demonstrates our commitment, solidarity and support to the Global Fund. Price reduction for rifampicin. During the recent lung conference in Hyderabad, India, UNITAID, the Global Fund, and global biopharmaceutical company Sanofi announced a landmark agreement that will significantly lower the price of rifampicin, a critically important drug used to prevent active TB in immunocompromised patients. The agreement will discount the price of a 3-month treatment course of rifampicin by nearly 70%. So it comes down from $45, which is 657 rand, to $15, which is 220 rand. That's important because it's a reduction in price and reduction in the duration of the treatment. And this is for the public sector. Of the 100 low and middle income countries, including South Africa. We're proud that South Africa has been in the forefront of these negotiations using the volumes and our signal that we will be one of the first countries to change from the current regimen of isoniazid, which is 1 tablet once a day for 9 to 12 months, and we'll be changing to the 2-drug combination of rifampicin and isoniazid, which is a 1-a-week treatment for 3 months. It changes things quite a bit. And this is important because the problem with the medication is when we pause amapilisi abele active. So all of a sudden you find there's a problem of compliance. It's just that you just get fed up. So if you've got a dose that's more effective, that can be taken for a shorter period and less frequently, you're going to get better compliance. So we really think that it's a very significant advancement. Our role in these negotiations was similar to that in 2018 when we led the negotiation to get a 47% reduction in the price of bedaquiline. We're planning to introduce the new rifampicin-based regimen, which is 3HP, for the prevention of TB in qualifying patients in the public sector by next year. Next is the introduction of dolutegravir based antiretroviral treatment regime in South Africa. We are pleased to report that on the 27th of November 2019, we will officially launch the new regimen containing the new potent and cost-effective drug called dolutegravir as part of standard regimen for eligible patients. With the introduction of this regime, the following will be the benefits. 1 is fewer side effects. 2 is quicker viral suppression, which means less likely to transmit the virus to others. Then on Ministers of Health side meeting at the International Conference on Population Development, South Africa participated in the Global HIV Prevention Coalition of Ministers of Health meeting, which was held on the sidelines of the International Conference of on Population Development, ICPD, in Nairobi. Deputy Minister Patla, Deputy Minister Bokwane Zulu, and others represented us. In this meeting, the newly appointed UNAIDS Executive Director, Ms. Buyanyinma, commended South Africa for the fast tracking of their performance towards reaching the targets and also increasing our domestic investment to respond to the epidemic, increasing the country's investment by $615 million, which is 8.9 billion rand in the last 7 years. So whatever we do here, the whole world is watching and they keep track of it. And everywhere we go, people, various bodies do comment on what South Africa is doing. And I think when we sit here, we must know that whatever the world is taking note, and so we must always show the best side of our country. Our countries were also encouraged to learn from South Africa in this. Other countries were encouraged to learn from South Africa in this regard. And in summary, Deputy President, whilst we are lauded by international community on some of our achievements, there is much more work to be done. We cannot and dare not decrease our efforts. If we let our guards down, we will not be able to reverse and halt these epidemics. This is important to remember in the context of the implementation of the National Health Insurance, where there is a need to deal with more rapidly reducing the burden of disease, including the burden of disease that arise from HIV and TB. In addition, for NHI to succeed, we need to put a number of ingredients into place. We need to strengthen the quality of care and the public health and pool the resources between the public and private sectors to ensure that all resources are used effectively and efficiently. The President assigned us the responsibility to find and test and include in treatment 2 million HIV-positive people by 2020. We are up to the task. We have been encouraged by the show experience, as we have heard. We make a call to all South Africans to unite and defeat the scourge of HIV, TB, and AIDS. If the world would be able to defeat HIV and AIDS, that defeat will happen in South Africa first. The world is watching South Africa. They expect determination, commitment, and courage. We have no choice but energy in our desire to defeat HIV, AIDS, and TB. And we can do it. We need to mobilize all sectors of society and work together in common resolve to ensure that our cause will triumph. Must mobilize society in its entirety, women, men, youth, labor, LGBTI community, religious, faith-based organizations, traditional leaders, traditional healers, artists, musicians, sports people, business, unemployed, disabled, and those in prisons, all professions, all political parties, and ensure that no one is left behind. We have to deepen the culture of human rights, fight against violence on women and children, and act harshly against the incidences of femicide. Economic empowerment is at the core in the fight against these scourges. Building our economy, empowering women, youth, and reducing unemployment and poverty is at the cause of our response if we must succeed. We need to ensure that we work together as government, private sector, labor, civil society for the success of our multi-sectoral response. We will report in the next session on the progress to revive AIDS councils, as we have heard already the comments, in the provinces and districts. The government has to be located at the center to ensure that the resources are mobilized to support a multi-sectoral societal response. It's not a government's job to fight AIDS, TB, and tuberculosis. It's a job, it's a duty and the responsibility and the task of the society at large. Government must stand as a facilitator for the programs, and government must be at the center to make the resources available. So we take the comments that have been made about the shift and the changes in budgets. I can just say to Deputy Chairperson Letziga, you can trust on us to engage Treasury and Americans, everybody alike. We will deal with the matter, we are continuing to deal with it. The Parliamentary Caucus, TB Caucus, will be relaunched soon. Portfolio Committee's schedule is tight due to the current public hearings on on NHI. And as we've said, NHI is itself a major platform on which to fight the various diseases manifested which includes TB, AIDS, and tuberculosis, and other communicable diseases, as well as to confront the rising tide of non-communicable diseases. People are living long enough, so they'll now be subject to other diseases which are less communicable, and they must find the health system ready to keep them healthy even when they encounter those kinds of diseases. So there's still much work to be done. We can only succeed if we continue to collaborate as society in general, including government, private sector, organized labor, civil society, and all formations in our society. With those words, Deputy President, I want to thank you for convening this plenary. We will take the matter up in support of your office to encourage other ministers and premiers and other departments to participate in good enough numbers. Thank you very much.
That's the Minister of Health, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, there talking at the first meeting of SANAC following the May elections. Our National Treasury says government remains committed